I'm Shashini Marasinghe, and I will be doing today's session for the LaTeX workshop. And as you all can see on the screen, today's topic will be about TikZ package. So uh, when we talk about TikZ package is all about figure drawings. So let's begin. Oh, before starting to discuss all the content material, let me write down today's plan. So let me first type it down. So as the first section, I will be discussing how to draw basic shapes. Basic shapes in the sense how to draw circles, how to draw triangles, straight lines, and etc. So the first part will be basic shapes. And after discussing basic shapes, I will go and explain the basic features. So if I explain what is meant by basic features, let's say you have drawn a circle and you want that circle to be filled in a color, let's say in blue color. So how do we do that? I'm going to discuss that in this part. So it's basic features. So after discussing that part, I will discuss how to draw a figure on XY plane. And after that, I will give you a small task that I want you to do in the session itself. And after completing these 4 sections, we will go to Geogebra. Here, we are going to learn how to extract the TikZ code from it, where we will be drawing complex figures in Geogebra software. And then we will go to how to design flowcharts. And finally, we will come to commutative diagram drawings. So this is my plan for today's session. So this is the plan. Now, we know before doing any kind of construction using a certain package, here, if we want to draw a figure, first we need to include the suitable packages to our document. So here, suitable packages are TikZ, TikZ, and some other libraries. So let me add them first here. So the first package is TikZ, where we will use this for general drawings like circles and etc. And next package will be TikZ, which is used to draw commutative diagrams. Let me mark it here. And then we have a library. Where we have shapes, geometric, and arrows. So let's compile. So now let's begin drawing some basic shapes. So for a moment, let's forget about everything and let's try to recall how to draw a straight horizontal line. Now, I would say we could connect the coordinates 0, 0 and 4, 0. So let me write it down as well. connect 0, 0 and 4, 0. Now this is a horizontal straight line. So how do we draw it using this TikZ package? First of all, we need to have that suitable environment. The suitable environment is TikZ picture. So let's write that down as well. Begin TikZ picture. This is the suitable environment for any kind of drawing inside TikZ package. So let's start drawing the horizontal straight line by using this idea. So it is simple. The command we are using inside these two phrases are just draw. After drawing, we will include our first coordinate, which is the origin. And we have to connect 0, 0 to 4, 0, which is denoted by 2 dashes. That means connecting is denoted by 2 dashes. And let's include the last coordinate. And in order to end the statement, we will use a semicolon. Let's compile and see. So here it's a straight line. And let's do another example. Now I want you to design a straight line which is vertical. So in this case, I would say I would pick coordinates 0, 0 and 0, 4. So I must say all those constructions are mostly depend on coordinate selection on XY plane. So let's draw this one as well. TikZ picture. So again, as usual, the command needs to be draw 0, 0 and connecting denoted by 2 dashes. And I want 0, 0 point to be connected to 0, 4 so that it will be a vertical line. End this with a semicolon. So you can see it's a vertical line. So what if we want something slanted? Again, that depends on the way you select all those coordinates. Let me do that one as well. Small skip. Begin again the environment. TikZ picture environment. As usual, the command draw, and we need to pick suitable coordinates. The starting coordinate is the origin. So connecting it by 2 dashes and ending, let's say 2, 2, or let's pick 3, 3. Again, to end the statement, we need to use this semicolon. So here, this is a straight line which is slanted. Now let's move into something a little bit complex, and I want you to do this thing with me. So here I am going to construct a square. So let's do it. Again, we need to give that environment, TikZ picture. As usual, the command is draw. So I want to first connect my origin to another point, let's say 4, 0. So as usual, it will be a horizontal line, but I want a square. So square is something like, square is something which is connected by 4 points. So we need to include some other points as well. So here 4, 0 point. So in order to make this side, I need to connect 4, 0 to another point. So let's connect it to 4, 4. So now we have two sides and we want this side to be created. Let's pick this coordinate to be 0, 4. Now we already have three sides, but still we need to connect these points. So it is also the same as the previous ones. We will just include the ending point, which is also the starting point. But rather writing all these coordinates, we can simply replace this last coordinate by the statement cycle. It will still give the same diagram. So see, you will get the same square as usual. Now let's do one more example. Let's try to draw a triangle. Begin, TikZ picture, and the command is draw. And since it is a triangle, we have 3 coordinates. Let's pick the same coordinates as usual. 0. And then we have, let's pick 3, 3. Not 3, 3, 3, 0, because I need the triangle's bottom line to be the horizontal one. And then I will pick 3, 3. And in order to complete my diagram, I will use cycle here. And to end the statement, we have semicolons. So let's see what it looks like. Again, it's a triangle. So it's that simple, but when it comes to complex diagram drawings, it will be hard to formulate all those coordinates as we don't have a specific way to find where these coordinates are located. So as the next example, I will discuss how to draw a circle. Begin, TikZ picture. Now, again, the command is draw, but there is a slight difference with coordinate writings and the statement. The first one is, the first coordinate that I will be using is the center of my circle. So this is the center, and I will use circle here, and in the next bracket I need to include this radius that I will be using. So I would select 3 centimeters, and to end the statement, as usual, we need to use the semicolons. So this is the circle, and so I missed 0 here. (1,1). So yeah, it's a circle with this radius centered as 1,1. Now let's say we want to draw an arc. So again, the code is simple. Begin, TikZ picture. Again, it is draw. We need to include the center. Let's say 1,1. and arc. And here in these brackets, we need to specifically mention the starting angle and the ending angle and also the radius. So the starting angles normally starts with this x direction. So this horizontal line is known as the positive x direction is known as the 0-degree level, and going this direction it will be the ending angle. So I would pick 0 as my starting angle, and then I want 120 degrees, and then I want my radius to be 3 centimeters. So in order to end the statement, I will use semicolon. So here's, you see, an arc is created. So as the next example, I am going to draw an ellipse. Begin, TikZ picture. Again, the command is so simple. First, we need to define our center and write down ellipse. And in the second brackets, we need to include 2 radii because in the ellipse, as we all know, we have 2 radii. So let's write it down. 1, 1, ellipse. Let's say 2 centimeters and 1 centimeters. So you see, here's an ellipse. Now, we have discussed lots of basic shapes, like most of the basic shapes have been discussed here. Now, let's move on to basic features. So, let's say I want my circle, this line, to be in red color. So, let's find out how to do that. So, begin, TikZ picture again. Now, here, again, we are using draw command by using some added features. So the added features are normally included in square brackets. So here I said I want my circle to be in red color, that outer circle to be in perimeter to be red color. So I marked it here as red, and then let's construct my circle center 0, 0. Say 2, 2. And circle, and I want my radius to be like 2 centimeters. In the statement, let's see what will happen when we add this feature here. So you see, you have a red circle now. Now I want my circle to be, this line to be a little bit thicker. So what I'm going to do next is I will add that inside this square brackets like this. Let's make our circle a little bit larger. So we'll see. Now you see, we have a little bit thicker line for our perimeter. Now I want that line to be dashed, which is known as a line style. So let's include that one as well. So it is dashed. Let's see what would happen. So here you see, we have dashed perimeter with a little bit of thickness and in red color. Now you might wonder, how do we know all those shapes and like features? So it is simple. You don't have to remember or recall anything. It is simple. You will have to just Google it, like line styles in LaTeX. So here you have a bunch of different designs and different commands. So let's pick loosely dashed here, and let's see what would happen. Copy. Instead of dashed, I will pick this, and we'll see what would happen. So here it is loosely dashed. So let's say now I want to fill this circle with a color. So filling has to be done with a different command. So let's see what that command is. Begin, TikZ picture. Now filling has to be done by using fill command. So it is fill, and since I want to pick a color, I'm going to include in this square brackets. So let's say I want red color with 40% of red color and the rest from white color. So it will be marked like this, 40 and the rest is white. Now from this point onward, we have to design our circle. So the circle is designed such a way, my center is 2,2, and let's pick the radius to be 2 centimeters. So you see, now you have this. But what if you want an outer circle to be mentioned as well? So at that point, you have to change this command to fill draw. So let's do that one as well. Begin, TikZ picture. The command is fill draw. And we need to add all the features here in this square brackets. So filling has to be done. Let's say I want it to be in yellow color. And for the drawing, let's say I want that to be in black, thick, and dashed, whatever you want. And let's again construct a circle here. 2,2 circle, and the radius like 2 centimeters. So you see, you have this circle filled with yellow color, and at the same time, you have this outer perimeter drawn as well. So, and the next thing I am going to talk is, what if you want some kind of shades include your image? So let's say you want a green color or red color from the left, and in the right, you want it to be like red. So let's see how to do that. For shading, we need to include the command shade. Begin, TikZ picture. So the command is shade. So bright color need to be like blue, and left color, let's pick it red. So after that, let's construct the circle here. I'm going to copy paste this. Again, now, what if we want this shading to be included with another outer circle? So again, we need to modify our command to shade draw and include these statements. Let me do that for you. begin TikZ picture. So the command is shade draw, and let's say inner color is yellow, outer color is blue, and for the drawing purpose, let's pick it to be black as usual. I want that to be thick, and I want that to be dashed as well. So let's construct the circle. 2, 2 circle with the radius of 2 centimeters, and the statement by semicolon. So yes, you need to be careful about the spellings. You need to use exactly the same spellings here. Otherwise, you will get a different diagram. So here's the diagram. We have this perimeter which is dashed and thick, and inside yellow color, and outside you have blue color. So now that I have discussed almost like most of the features and most of the basic figures, and let's go to XY plane. So before designing XY plane, what we know is we need to have a grid. So let's see how to create that grid. Again, it is the same. Begin, TikZ picture. Again, it has to be draw with added features. So the features are, I want step size to be 1 centimeter, and I want my lines to be in gray color, and let's say I want those lines to be thin. And when designing this grid, we have to select 2 specific coordinates such that they are diagonal to each other. So I would pick my first coordinate as -1, -1, and the word is grid, and end with 5, 5. So here's the grid that we wanted. Now, let's say you don't want this outer square in your grid. So what we're going to do is we just replace these whole numbers with decimal points. So you will see, let's say 0.9, and this also 0.9, 4.9, and 4.9. So here you don't have that outer square anymore. So let's now we have those grids, but what is missing is we need to include X and Y axis. So let's do it on the same figure itself. So defining arrows needed to be done using the same command draw, and now I want my arrows to be in red color, so I would pick it to be red, and I want it to be a little bit thick, and arrow signs are indicated by this notation. So now this one is for my x-axis, so it has to be a horizontal line. So when we pick those coordinates, it has to be a horizontal one. So let's pick my coordinates as 0, 0, and connect them using 2 dashes, and the ending point is 4, 4. Oh, it has to be a horizontal line. So I have made a mistake by using a different coordinate. So it has to be 4, 0. You need to be very careful when picking these coordinates. So this is the XY axis, sorry, x-axis. Now let's draw the y-axis. And again, I want that to be in red color, thick, and the arrow sign is indicated by this. And I want it to be started from 0, 0. And I want it to be end from 0, 4. So here's my x-axis and this is my y-axis. Now let's say I want to name those axes. So the naming is done by using the command node. So let's do one node followed up by a curly bracket. So in this space, we will have to write down the statement that we are going to use. So I would pick x-axis. So you see, this is not positioned well. So in order to make it positioned well, we need to include one more thing. Now, one thing to remember is in this LaTeX drawings, the north direction is downward. So in order to make it place here, this direction is northwest. So it has to be done with the keyword anchor and northwest. So here you see it was well positioned. So let's do the same thing for the y-axis as well. And here it will be like southeast. So let's write down that as well. Anchor southeast. So the statement I wanted to include is y-axis. Yes. So here we go. Now I have discussed how to draw this x and y axis and all those added features and some basic shapes. Now I will give you a small task and like I want to draw this figure. Just try to draw this figure. I will give you 5 minutes. In the meantime, if you have any questions, drop a message to the chat box. So I want you to draw this diagram. So I'll give you 5 minutes, and if you are done, just send me a text or like an emoji sign you have at the bottom. Since I don't see any messages popping up, so I will start doing this task as well. Just follow with me. So in order to construct this figure, what you can see is you have grids, and where you have this outer square, and you have your x-axis and y-axis, which is in black color, which is thicker, and you have a shading to your square, and also you have this outer circle which is dashed. So let me draw it. Let me copy paste the same thing here, because copy. So since I want my grids to be sorry, my x and y axis to be in black color, I would replace this red color in black, and this one to be in black as well. So here's the diagram. So see, now you can see I don't have this outer square, but I want that outer square for my diagram. So I need to change these values to make sure I have this outer square. So it has to be 5 and 5. Now what I'm going to do next is I want to place a circle inside this drawing. So let's say which includes a shading, so that command has to be shade draw. Shade draw. Now inside shade draw, my shading has to be like from the left color, it has to be green. Right color has to be yellow. And for the drawing part, I want that line to be black, thick, and it has to be dashed. So after that, we have to design the circle, and I would pick 2,2 circle with a radius 2 centimeters. So let's see what is going to happen. Now you can see this circle is on the top of all those grids and y-axis, but in the figure, grid is the first image that appears on the top. So in order to make this grid come forward, what we're going to do is we need to make this statement as the first statement of the series. So let's see. So here's the required diagram. Now we have discussed all the basic shapes, most of the features, and somewhat okay in XY drawings, but what happens if we have some kind of complex images, like something difficult? So it would be really difficult to write down all these codes using the coordinates and drawing such things. So I would highly recommend to go to GeoGebra software in that cases. So let's open our GeoGebra. So here, this is the interface for GeoGebra Classic, and I won't be discussing much in GeoGebra applications. Here I will be mainly discuss how to extract the TikZ code from GeoGebra software. So let's begin. Now let's say I want to Let's say I want to draw a circle. So here's a circle, and I want a polygon inside it. So let's draw a polygon as well. Like this. And let's say I want to draw a parallel line. So I want to draw a parallel line to this x-axis. So this is the parallel line. Now, what I want to do is I want this diagram to be included in my LaTeX document. This can be done in two ways. Like you can just export image and attach it to your document. And also you can do extract your TikZ code as well. Let's see what is going to happen once we extract it. So open. Now you can see the TikZ code here. Now we have specific use packages included here. So be careful. First, you need to copy paste those specific use packages and other attributes. So here I will copy all those things here and we'll paste in my document. So, and then I will just copy paste the content. And then include in my document. So now you see this is not very much position. So this position can be position can be slightly changed by using these codes. For an example, I want to shift this to this direction, so it has to be this one, x minimum. So here you can see they have picked -9 as the minimum one. So I don't want that to be that to go that far. So I will pick like around 6. So now you can see positioning can be easily done by slightly changing coordinates. So here's the thing. Now now we have seen this diagram. Now this is the easiest method when it comes to complex diagrams. So like writing all those codes manually is kind of difficult, and personally I don't prefer that. I would go for this GeoGebra. If it is not possible in GeoGebra, I will definitely go to Illustrator and just attach an image. So GeoGebra part is done. Let's move on to flowcharts. So when it comes to flowcharts, it is all about designing the suitable like blocks. You need to first design all the suitable blocks first, and then like flowcharts are like start, process, decision. All of them are consisting of the suitable blocks with different colors, different shapes. So the main thing we need to focus is we need to design them first. So let's design them first. For that as well, we need to give that TikZ picture environment. So the designing done mainly using the command TikZ style. And after that, using curly brackets, we will name it. So First, I'm going to design my start button. So start block. So let it be start, and let me define it first. So now I want this start block to be rectangle. The corners, and I would pick minimum width of like 3 centimeters and minimum height 1 centimeters. I want text to be centered, text centered. So finally, I want that to be filled with, let's say, blue and with 40%. And for the drawing, I want to be I want it to be black color. So here's my defining part. So now you see, you can't see anything. This is just defining, but we need to execute that. So let's do that one as well. For that part, we will need to use the command node, and for the first bracket, we will include the name that we are using in the future. I'm going to use the same name, start, and in the next close brackets, we need to write down where this is extracting its shape. So for this node, it will extract its shape from this part. So its name is start. So it has to be start here. And then in the curly brackets, I will include the text that I want to be in it. So let's say begin. Let's compile it. Here you see my first block has been created. Now I want some several blocks. So let's define those blocks as well. So in order to define the next block, again, we are going to use stick style. Then I will be using the name as process. Let's use process. And for the defining purposes, equal sign followed up with close brackets. Here I would use it to be a trapezium with a right angle of like 110 degrees, and I want it to be with a minimum width of 3 centimeters, minimum height of 1 centimeter, and filling has to be done with yellow color, and drawing has to be done with black, and I want that to be that to be dashed. So to make it visible, node first parenthesis is for the name. I will use process, and what I am referring to, it is this process, and then we need to include where we need that to be placed. So the placing position will be below of this start. So the text that I will be using is process. Let's see. So you can see you don't have any gap between those two blocks. Now what I'm going to do is I need to make some kind of gap between those two blocks, and it will be done by adding a command here. So the command is not distance equal to 3 centimeters. I want that to be 3 centimeters. Now you see you have a gap here. Now what I'm gonna next design is I want to design another block which is the shape of a diamond. So let me textile. So let's pick it as let's name it as decision, and I want that to be in the diamond shape, and let's pick the same things. Minimum width to be 3 centimeters. Minimum height to be 1 centimeter, and text centered, and then I want filling to be in red with 40%, and I want drawing to be again just black and thick. So to make it visible, we'll add a node here. Node, let's say decision. So I want this decision block to be placed over here. So the block I'm referring is decision, and I want that to be placed over here, which is the right side. So it has to be right of process, and I want to write something like output. So let's pick a different, here it has to be red. Now you can see these two blocks are, they don't have a gap. So I need to make some space between those blocks. So what I'm gonna do next is I will include some statement here, X shift with 3 centimeters. So now you see we have those three figures. Now what is missing is arrows. So we need to define arrows as well. So defining arrows is also done by TikZ. And let's say this is arrow, and the defined to be black in color, and I want that to be thick, and arrow sign is indicated in this manner. So this is the arrow sign. Now to include those arrows. First, let's talk about the arrow from begin to processing. So now drawing arrows has to be done by using drawing command. So what we are referring is arrow, and that needed to be done from begin to processing, but the name of begin is start, so start to process. Start to process. Now you can see a perfect arrow in this direction. Let's also create an arrow from this to this place. Again, it is the same. Draw arrow, and here it will be sorry, I am almost lost the connection. Let's start from where we stopped. Or like we were discussing so here we go. Now I want to draw an arrow from processing to output. So it will be done basically using draw command, arrow, and again from process to the last block decision. Now, again, I want to draw an arrow from output to begin. Let's do that one as well. Draw. So again, arrow. And here, the first one is decision. And then start. Now you see it's just an arrow, and what if I want this to be in this direction? So what I'm going to do is I will just use this. Also, any kind of labeling these arrows are also possible. That has to be done by using node that I have told you earlier at this place. So node uh, anchor in, let's say, east. Oh, well, I missed anchor. So what I want to include is, let's say, yes. Now, this is how you design a simple flowchart. Now we have discussed flowcharts. So let's move on to commutative diagrams, which is kind of difficult if you try to do it manually. So I found a way which is easy